Aloha, I'm Alana Kay and this is Spirit of Maui. We have a show today that's really near and dear to my heart because we're going to be talking about humanity living closer to the land. Now my guest today is Mirra Rose and she's going to introduce herself, but I'm just going to briefly say she is one of the people on Maui that I have crossed her path many times and never really sat down and talked. And last week we began a conversation. I met her through a few channels and we had an in-depth conversation about the concept of living closer to the land. So she's going to tell you all about her vision there, and I'm also going to tie in my vision of that. And the reason it's so important to us, you know, as a spiritual person, a person who chooses to live my life in a spiritual manner, as you know if you've seen my other shows or if you know anything else about me, is that a key piece of being spiritual is to be connected to nature. And I doubt how well one could even continuously feel the spiritual flow of energy unless they are connected to nature, because we are made of the land, we are of the earth, and so we can't break that connection. The other thing is Maui is a very special place worldwide. We are a #1 tourist destination, and everybody has different reasons for coming here. And there's also many different cultures living here and many different reasons that people live here. So the vision that we're going to be talking about, the visions that we're going to be talking about in certain lifestyles that we believe would be very beneficial to the island and to the people, and in keeping with the spirit of Maui and the natural elements here and the beautiful sacred space that Maui is. We understand that there's many different cultures and many different viewpoints, but we're expressing a viewpoint that we hope you'll enjoy, and I hope you can get on board with us. And now I'm going to let Mirra explain or just share with us your background and why you're here talking to me today.
Okay, all right. Well, I consider Maui not only my home, but my destiny. And it has been around 30 years that I've been here, maybe a little bit more. And I was called here by my soul, by my spirit, and asked to be a caretaker especially for the children that will be born here and our future. And that was 30 years ago, and it's even more true today. I feel like the whole earth is headed in a particular direction where Mother Nature is going to be the boss again. She hasn't been the boss for a while.
I agree.
And it's time for her to get back in the driver's seat for humanity and to allow us all to come into harmony with her. And a place like Maui, which has her own destiny, to be a model and an example for the rest of the world of how we adapt to the new energies that are coming into the planet and how we create our own particular communities and society, and how we lead the world with the way in which we interact with each other and with the earth here and the sea and Mother Earth herself. This is our opportunity to showcase not only the beauty that is Maui, but the spirit that is Maui.
Right, exactly. Thank you for saying that.
Yes. So basically my role, I see, will be more important in the future, because what's coming for Maui is an opportunity that hasn't existed since the times of Lemuria. This is a time where the reemergence of that consciousness of oneness is going to be our leadership. And the souls, the people who are destined to be leaders in this new world that we're creating together collectively, will be individuals who are in alignment with Earth's destiny.
Absolutely.
So Maui is a beautiful soulscape. And in fact, many people did escape from other places to come here to live, and I'm one of them. So this is a place where the legacy of the Hawaiian consciousness, the Hawaiian community, the Aloha, is of paramount importance, because Aloha is a spirit of welcoming and of righteousness, of what we call pono, of living in the right way with our promise to the earth and to each other. And so nowhere else could it be more beautifully illustrated than here on this lovely island, which is a jewel in the middle of the sea. And we have the opportunity to radiate out to the rest of the world this marvelous attunement that we have with the new world that's coming and with Maui's destiny.
Yeah. I would say destiny. You brought up that word a few times. And I also have been here for a little over 27 years, and it's been quite a journey. I've been all over the place here. I feel that was purposeful. Met a lot of different peoples and cultures and so on, and I've been involved in political things. So I've been exposed to quite a bit. I feel like I have a framework from within which to function. But I also believe in destiny, and I believe that the pending earth changes and where we are at. I agree with everything that you said. I couldn't have said it better, so I'm not going to. I just want to say I concur, and that is, you know, if we do see some earth changes, or even there's some things that may be happening on Maui, the fire, and we're having a serious drought right now, that we understand that Earth is pushing us to move into our destiny and to live closer to nature and with more respect to nature. So, and you're right, we are ideally situated, and I've said this in a couple of my shows, that we are in the middle of the ocean, but Maui, before people came here, was an incredibly life-giving, life-sustaining island. And as we've done a lot of development, you can tell by looking around, we still have amazing things. I mean, we know that, we acknowledge that. But it's gotten to the point where we really destroyed the water circulation pattern on the island, and that's evident in the drought conditions and the fact that there's so much brown when you know it should be green. And the point is that, can we, with the different cultures and the different viewpoints, perspectives, you know, you have the developers with their perspective, you got government's perspective, can we work together we know we should, but can we work together toward solutions that will we can live a decent life. We don't have to live in tents and be running around barefoot, and you know, we don't have to live like that, but definitely using our spiritual nature and our spiritual intelligence, we can come up with ways of living that don't harm the land and destroy the ecosystem. So we're going to get into that. And now I know that you have been talking to some people, and I've brought the subject up before. I have some examples as well. Talking about creating eco-villages where, I'm going to let you describe more what that means, but what's interesting to me is there are people here who would like to see us go back to the ahupua'a system. So for those that are not familiar with it, you can find a lot online about it, but briefly, it's the Mauka to Makai, mountain to the sea concept of living, where you have the different climates and you have the different elements of nature, and your whole life revolves around the health of your particular ahupua'a. So I don't know how many we had back in the Hawaiian days, the days of the Hawaiian people. how many we have. It could be around 20. I hate to throw out a number. But it would be anything that's kind of like a pie shape. And then they would fish. So you had your streams, and then they'd be brackish near the ocean. And then there were certain species that thrived off of that brackish water. So we've interrupted all of these cycles. And so is it possible with all the development we have already to go back to that? I personally feel that we should come up with a plan to roll back. Some people think there might be some earth changes. You might be one of them. And there might be. There's still, you know, like the Lahaina fire wiped out. You could almost consider that an earth change. I know everybody has a different opinion about why it happened. But it was conditions definitely that caused that to happen. And then so now we have this large area where people are getting together and saying, well, now how are we going to rebuild? There's actually a lot of people that would like to restore the wetlands. And
that's what I was going to talk about. Yeah, for sure.
So, so we're looking at either are we looking at an eventuality where we might start from scratch because we get a tsunami or something wipes everything out like the fire, or are we looking at coming up with a rollback plan, meaning once, like I've often thought, the big Maui Lu in South Maui, when that was condemned and torn down, that they never should have rebuilt there. And that's what I mean by a plan to roll back, meaning as the buildings age and age out of you know, their lifespan, tearing them down and allowing those wetlands to come back, because they built over the wetlands and they built over the rivers. So anyway, you can take it from there, what your thoughts are on that and the eco-village concept, whatever comes to mind.
Well, it's kind of a combination of past wisdom and future knowledge and energy systems that are going to be coming online that we don't really have in evidence yet. So we're going to be getting a lot of help from higher intelligence and greater energy sources that will be able to assist us. But in reality, this is something we really need to be taking responsibility for, because humanity has done a lot of damage to this part of the world. For example, Ko'olave and the broken aquifer, you know, and other kinds of destruction that are not only a matter of pollution, but just development in general. So, for example, our wetlands really need to be allowed to return to what they were.
That's really important.
You know, and there has been a movement. I believe the mayor has decided to support the rebuilding of the Moku'ula, the Lahaina wetlands, and to bring back a place where Kihawahini can be restored, and the whole concept of the heart of Hawaii, the heart of Maui, to shine forth again. So what we are really looking at with regard to eco-villages is a natural progression, the people wanting to have places where they can live, where they can sustain life with all the things that they need in a natural way. And I thoroughly believe that this is a movement which is normal and natural and upcoming in our new history. In other words, the people are arriving, they're being called consciously or unconsciously to come to this area with the mission of living in harmony with each other and with the earth. And so these eco-villages will be the natural result of our little dolphin pod humanity. People finding each other, the individuals that resonate with our heart and with our intention. We will naturally draw together and naturally want to live and work together, and we will naturally want to create all the things that we need in a sustainable way. So I don't think we need to be concerned about how this is going to happen.
Right.
All we need to do is to follow our hearts, you know, and follow our highest truth, and to overcome the many political divisions and ways of looking at things that are empowered by money,
Right.
and rather look to see what true abundance is.
Right.
And to allow our tourist industry, which is dependent upon the beauty of nature here.
Exactly. It's like shooting yourself in the foot.
Yes, to allow that energy of tourism to simply be a reflection of the kind of aloha that Hawaii embodies and wants to share with the world, and to give that aloha an opportunity to be as authentic as possible. And that's one of the things that is really dear to my heart, is working with the Hawaiian people and not superseding their culture, but really allowing it to thrive and flourish. And the spirit of aloha to merge with nature's gifts and share with the world the flowering of the island of Maui in a whole new way.
Yeah. And understanding, like you said earlier, about the spiritual nature of Maui, because if you look at it like a postcard, it's just beautiful, right? But if you sit with it and really just feel the natural forces that are here, it's incredible. It's so strong. It's so, like I found a new beach after, I can't believe I was never there before, but I like when I was telling you about it this morning. You're familiar with it, but
Oh, yes.
I said it's just beyond words. I can't even explain it. And that's like Eel Valley too. You can't explain it. So there's a spiritual nature here. And like I said, there's people come here for different reasons. And I do, the high-end tourism down in, Wailea area and that kind of thing, it draws a certain kind of tourist. And through the years, I've had the same vision as you, too, to start advertising to the world more our spiritual nature and also the ecosystem, which we would call ecotourism, and I've brought that up in my show and my magazine, Sustainable Aloha. Really if we start letting the world know that we have this fabulous ecotourism and voluntourism, you know what I mean when I say that, where you come here to work on a farm, just to feel what it's like to connect with that. We have 1,100 small farms here. We have the big one in the middle, but we have 1,100 small farms here, which is amazing. And they have farmers markets, and the produce is, once again, once you eat this, to me, once I eat Kula strawberries, mangoes, anything from here, the other stuff just doesn't work for me. I just can't do it. I'm completely on Maui produce now. It's so different. There's something magical, but I do want to mention, it's not just the people that know that are in tune with this, but Maui does have the strongest magnetic field on the planet, according to NASA. And that has to do with Haleakala. It's actually not Maui, which is the basis of Maui's Haleakala. Haleakala, we're in between two volcanoes, and one of them is Haleakala, and that has the strongest magnetic field on the planet. So that has something to do with, being surrounded by the ocean, all the negative ions, and then having all of that creates a metaphysical wonderland, let's put it that way. So it's a perfect place. Also, those who ascribe to, or I don't know what the word would be, believe in, or have thought about ley lines. There's energy ley lines on the planet, and we're supposed to be on the point of the energy connections across the planet that many are coming to call the heart chakra of the planet. And some people are even saying it shifted, it's now Maui. But like you said, I was called here too. And I was having dreams, and I was being just told by my soul, I have to go. So I answered the call, and there are a lot of people here, and we can see how it has a lot to do with anchoring that spirit of aloha or love, which is higher consciousness. On Maui, it's ideally located, and it's idyllic, but yes, we have development has destroyed it. So it's a matter of what steps do we take to work together. And like you said, it's like on a daily basis. So if anybody is listening to this and it's sparking your soul and it's sparking your imagination, that maybe that vision or that feeling you have, either to come here and be a part of this and be part of the, leadership. And what I mean by leadership is when you're talking about people working together, it requires very evolved people to be able to work together toward a goal and to stay on track with, the word I use very often is synergy. I don't know if there's a better word for it, but it's where you really don't, and there's going to be an element of the concept coming up here. You don't really, when somebody's a leader, it doesn't mean they're bossing other people around, but they may be a person who's more plugged in to the signal, more practiced at that. We can both tell you that it takes decades of practice, lifetimes of practice to be connected to the signal, to the intuitive field, and that's so when we're talking about leadership, we're just saying people that will lead people with love. It doesn't mean that you're dominating as in the matrix system where certain aggressive people or people with money dominate the other people, and that's not what we're talking. It would take very evolved people to be able to stay in that stream of consciousness where they can work together to create this thriving society. And it was making me think of something that you mentioned when I talked to you last week about working in harmony with nature. I can't remember if it might come up again later. But yeah, any thoughts on that, like how people work together?
Well, what you're talking about in terms of leadership is something that's emerging here on Maui, because as our populace becomes more aware of the issues that we face, not only worldwide and geopolitically, but especially here, right here on the island itself. There are more and more people who are beginning to understand that there are factions that have their own agenda, which are not necessarily supportive of the life here on Maui and the spirit of Aloha. So what's needed is the connections of small groups of people, local groups of people that have a commitment to their home and to the people around them and to the land and the animals and nature. And this brings forth the natural leaders, the ones who have a heartfelt communion with the land and the ocean and everything here. And so as political situations change, and as the earth changes happen, then we're going to find perhaps even a younger population of leaders and people who are naturally intending to work together with others in a harmonious way. And this is part of my work, is organizing and assisting people in coming together to make those positive changes. And this means that we have to overcome, in particular, the, shall we say, some of the political arguments that we have, and the basic idea that some of us are Hawaiians and some of us aren't.
Oh, that's right.
You know, when in reality we all are Hawaiians at this point. You know, it's. I remember when I was called here, being a channel, being a spiritual teacher and so forth. I would get messages, and I heard this message which said to me in February. This is 31 years ago. In February, you're going to be going to Hawaii. And I thought that was crazy at the time. And then my friends called and said, listen, we're going to Maui and we'd like to take you with us. And I said, sure. And on the way over in the plane, this presence came in. And I said, who are you? What is this presence? And the presence said, I'm Haleakala.
Oh.
I'm the one that's calling you.
So Haleakala was calling you.
Yes, so that's why I'm here, because of that invitation. And then a little while later, another presence came in, and I said, who are you? And it said, I'm Mama Maui, and I'm
That's
welcoming
what I was
you.
called, Mama.
Yeah, so there was this whole inner, what's known as an adesh, or a calling, to come here and to participate in the future unfoldment of Maui's destiny.
Yeah, and it is destiny, so I noticed that we get guided in our destiny. I was told recently to just ask for my destiny to unfold, because it was written in the stars before I came here. That's the way it was worded to me. By the way, I got to back up 1 sec, but I want to get back to the how to engage if you feel that this is part of your vision too, or your purpose or destiny. Is that I heard words when I made the decision to come here. I was walking in the snow, and a voice said to me, "Kahana Hanaloa."
Oh.
And the interpretation is that depending on where you break up the syllables, it either means your work is to bridge the gap. Now I know that that's what it was, right? Between heaven and earth. But it could mean that your work is to fix the toilet. That's what somebody told me when I first asked somebody, what is depending on where you break up the syllables.
Well, they are asking us.
What's funny is I didn't cover a lot of broken toilets, and I'd always be, this is either God's sense of humor or that means I'm off track. So anyway, yeah, bridging heaven and earth is what I think a lot of it is about. So if you feel like it's your destiny, what I notice is destiny most often does not take the twists and turns that you expect it to. It requires a surrendered a path of surrender, but you got to make sure that you're as sovereign as possible. Otherwise, you're going to surrender to your neighbor's energy. That's not what you're supposed to be doing. But in order for your destiny, you have to be willing to be led through all of the muck and the mire to get there, which is what I feel like I have, which is why I've had jobs at Costco, or I was in the cleaning business, or I lived there and I lived there. And it was because I was being exposed to things that I needed to know about, or whatever it might be. And so we trust the steps to get there. And actually, I followed breadcrumbs to find you that day, by the way. I think I told you that. I said, okay, lead me. I had no idea where I was being led. So, right, destiny, you can always trust it, but we do have to be patient to let it unfold. So if we have a vision, there's no concern. That's the whole point of using the term destiny, is that we know that it's mapped in the truest, most authentic, grounded nature of either yourself, or like we're speaking of this beautiful land. Then Spirit will give the perfect moment by moment, day by day route to that destiny. So it's a matter of learning how to tune in so that you can be guided along the way.
Yeah, a lot of times what interferes with that tuning in is our own mind and mindset.
Oh yeah.
Because surrender is a little bit deeper than just surrendering to certain thoughts or ideas. It's more like finding a kind of open space, a silence within yourself. So that your own soul, your own spirit can, and your guides and guidance can show you where the miracles lie in your life and what the direction is to find them. And so I would say to you, in response to what you mentioned, is that those who are being called here, those who feel called to become leaders, lead by example of offering themselves to this beautiful current of divine energy, and allowing themselves to be moved from the heart and not from the mind.
Thank you.
And there's
Right,
a
yeah.
big difference. There's
Yeah.
a big difference because with the mind, you bring in your predilections and your perspective from the past. And we are being led by our future.
Right.
We're being called into a new way of being human beings.
Way of being humans and interacting with each other and the way we live.
Mm-hmm.
That's what the new energy of the earth is. And so it seems scary to some people, actually to a lot of people, because they're feeling the shifts and they don't know what's shifting.
Mm-hmm.
And that's the important thing. And I think that you and I express repeatedly, and I do also all day, every day, is learn. The most important thing you can do right now is learn to come from the heart, because the heart holds the seeds of the future, whereas the brain can only hold evidence of the past, because that's what it's for. It's like a computer that you feed it information. And I keep hearing from Spirit lately to just always live as though every moment is new, because it is, but even more than ever, being led by the heart, Spirit can show you. It'll show you the way, and it'll show you what's beautiful about the moment you're in. So we're not living in a future, and you're being, not only are you being led into the future, but you're being shown what's beautiful about the now.
Yeah,
So
it's a question of trust.
And
You
and
know.
trusting it, because you're trusting the unknown.
Yeah.
As you're bringing forth the unmanifested, instead of the past is the known, the heart is the unknown. And
But those of us who have a kind of a spiritual bent or tendency, we really understand that that we're trusting in something that is beyond what we know,
right,
what our current knowledge, and that it means opening up and lending yourself to this future that wants to manifest.
right. It wants to manifest.
Yes, it
It's going
does.
to manifest through us. It's not going to happen to us. It's going to manifest through us.
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah.
And so again, I keep seeing these pods, like the dolphin pods, these pods of individuals who are finding one another
Yeah.
and aligning together like good neighbors who don't need fences.
Right. Very good. Very good. Right.
Who are really knowing within their heart that what's best for me is what's best for the collective.
That's where I was kind of formulating a thought around. Yeah.
So it's
Who
really
understand it. That's very important for people to work together.
So as we begin to understand that in the spirit of oneness,
Right.
which is our highest truth,
Yes.
because we are and everything is all one,
Yeah.
we begin to see that anything that hurts our neighbor or hurts any part of the earth or the sea hurts us directly.
Exactly.
So that's the understanding that we need to come from, which is that we are here collectively to form alliances that support the emergence of the consciousness of oneness and all the beautiful results of living according to that. And that will automatically benefit the ecosystem,
Right.
because we will automatically be in love with the water, be in love with the land, be in love with each other, and it will blossom and flower into a
Exactly.
beautifully productive island. And I constantly hold that image and that picture in my heart. And I remember when I started working on the project that is dear to my heart, I had a vision. First of all, a vision of the flower of life, which came in really strongly. And then, as I opened my eyes, I saw all around me the expanse of green. It was as if the whole island had become green, it became this beautiful garden that had always wanted to be.
Exactly. And the uamaukaea o ka aina i ka pono to me
Yes.
means
Yes.
that the land will reflect how pono we are. So that's just a reflection of us. And I feel like the dried up waters are that of all the battles that are going on right now between people, especially because of the Lahaina situation. everybody's bickering, and then you got government doing this, and the people, I personally see that as a reflection of, well, of course it naturally is. Your environment is naturally a reflection of your consciousness. So, right, when we correct the consciousness, and love is always the highest consciousness, so we're holding space for that. And yeah, that's the solution to everything.
Well, I really love what you're doing. You know, the intention and space that you're holding. And when you and I got together last week, we were astounded at how perfectly we were in alignment.
We never had talked to each other before.
Yeah.
So this is just that's how it works.
Yeah.
I think that's a very good example, right?
Yes.
If it's coming from a higher source, it's unifying, and it's that's what the oneness means.
And it doesn't matter what our backgrounds are, or that doesn't matter at all.
Yeah.
It's not the background, it's the future,
soul,
the
and
foreground, where we're going and where we're being led.
Where we're being led, and that, exactly. And it's definitely time on Maui, and I think we hit on everything that we wanted to express. Is there anything else you want to say before we...
Well, I think that in the future, one of the things that I plan on manifesting is a website where people can sign up for duty.
Oh, good. Oh, yeah. Okay.
You know, and it can be not just my website at all. I mean, it needs to be a place where people can gather their thoughts and their resources and work together on things that are really important to happen in Maui.
Yeah.
And people are working now in groups, but they're not necessarily bringing all these groups together. And so I think that there needs to be a common ground.
Kind of a...
And at a place where the heart and soul of Maui and the heart and soul of those of us who are called to bless this island with our love can be served. And so that's one of the things that I'm working toward.
So do you have a website now?
We do have a website, but it's not built out. The reason being that we're waiting for our humanitarian funding to come.
Okay.
And once it does come, then we're going to make a place where people can share the gifts that they have, the offerings that they have, and find a right livelihood.
Right.
And find the other people that are in alignment with what they want to do. And it's just a question of information, and it's just a question of being intuitively guided,
right.
And of giving ourselves the opportunity to go beyond prejudice and judgment of other people and labels, and just go into where can we be of service? Where can we...
Right, that's the focus, not all these personal little trivialities. It's like...
Where can we serve? Where can we find something that we have in common and go beyond the differences into the heartfelt desire to share from our hearts for this beautiful Aloha Island, this beautiful place on God's earth where we have come to share the light of oneness. With the world. Yeah.
And there's somebody who writes, and it turns out we both know her. Somebody writes every morning on the sand at the beach, one with God.
Oh, yes.
I always thought that was great, a great reminder to, because we really are. We're just returning to the awareness of that. And so we're just talking about, Maui getting back into her integrity and where she really needs to be to continue to sustain life. So I just so appreciate that I talked to you last week and you came on the show. It was a perfect thing for us to talk about on here, because my show I had prior to this, and they're still online on YouTube and on Akaku's archives. I think they should be in there, Sustainable Aloha, where I talk about the same concept, basically. I just bring more spirituality into this show, and we can definitely sustainability fits into that, so.
Well, I'd like to come back if possible, and we can even have a place where people submit questions, then topics that we could focus on.
That's true.
And we could bring other people in, of course.
Okay.
But I think that would be a great platform,
right?
So that we can honor the heart of Maui and what she wants to manifest.
The heart of Maui, right? And talk about these ideas of living closer, using different building materials, and living in a sustainable way. That definitely can be done, and it's not a freaky deaky hippie thing. It's a reality. It's a realistic. Actually, I forgot to mention this. I have a friend who has done this on the Big Island. The only thing is Maui's different. Big Island's a whole different kind of thing, where he built with all earth-friendly building materials, all edible landscapes, and he just did it. He built it with his own hands, and it's beautiful. So, anyway, we believe it can be done, and we believe
it will be done.
It will be done.
It will be done,
we believe it will be done. So we're here.
It's already manifest in.
It's already, yeah, I know it is.
In the idea form, in the energy form,
Yeah.
and in the akasha, and it is simply a question of people having the joy of creating it.
Yeah, opening up and allowing it to come through.
Yeah, exactly.
So thank you for tuning in, and you can find this show. Please subscribe and like videos on Spirit of Maui on YouTube, and also continue to tune in to Akaku, which is on Spectrum, channel 50, well, it's channel 53, 54, and 55, but 53 is government. Actually, it's not half bad to listen and see what government's up to on channel 53, but these shows such as this are on 54 and 55. So, aloha, and we will see you next time. Ahuio.
Thank you.